Hi guys and welcome back to the Mighty Blues. My name is of course Cameron and welcome back today to another live stream. It is Wednesday, it is a midweek stream of course. Every stream is basically going to feel like a midweek stream now of course because the season is over. No more reviews and previews and instant match reactions, at least for the next couple of months anyway. Listen, I was originally going to do the first part of the seasonal review today. I was going to go through the first half of the season, talking about all the games, talking about how Marco Silva fit into the setup at Everton Football Club, how his signings fit in, how they all developed under him, how the players reacted to a new manager as well. But I thought, you know what, I'll leave the first part of the seasonal review till Friday. I'll talk about that on Friday and then I'll do the second part on Monday because I still wanted a little bit of time to have a little bit of a think over the season, think about, you know, how we started to how we ended, how good the form we in, you know, at the start of the season, how it obviously dipped in the middle and then of course come out the other end with a fantastic draw against Spurs on the last day of the season. So I thought, you know what, we'll do a stream today on the Dixies. The Dixies, the award shows that happened last night, of course. Basically the annual award show that, you know, all the player of the year, player of the season, players played of the season, etc, all get announced. Now the Dixies, or you know, the Everton end of season awards, it hasn't always been called the Dixies, used to be held at St George's Hall, and fans used to be able to pay a price and, you know, get a ticket and go in a suit and meet all the players and have a 3-course meal, etc, and really make a night of it. Now they've stopped that now. The Dixies yesterday was literally just a link that you could watch on Everton TV from 5 o'clock, and it was streamed from 8 o'clock on YouTube, and basically it was an hour-long show, just short of an hour-long show, where they went through all of the awards, and they'd already, you know, they'd done pre-filmed clips of the, you know, the different people and different players picking up different awards throughout the football club. And on the website anyway, halfway through the Dixies, had the list of the awards, so you knew the player of the season was, you knew the players player of the season was before you'd actually seen it live, sort of on the stream or on the video that you were watching. And not gonna lie, I was a little bit disappointed by that. Now I do understand as to why Everton Football Club and other football clubs don't do an annual end of season award show where they invite fans in, because, you know, it's a little bit difficult, you know, season after season. Of course you could have one season where your team's had an absolutely fantastic season and you want to go and watch the lads pick up the awards, you want to go and celebrate your football club, but there might be, you know, another occasion where you've had a poor season, you've chopped and changed managers and some of the players haven't necessarily performed to the best of their ability, and you're sort of a little bit like, oh well, I don't really want to go and watch an award show when we've been shit all season. I just want to forget about that season. I know Everton totally missed the award show, I believe, a couple of seasons ago when we were absolutely dire. So I understand why they've sort of now made it just, you know, a few clips thrown together in a video, and that video premieres on EvertonFC.com and then YouTube afterwards, and fans can, you know, sit around and watch it and then tweet out and etc, and the players obviously accept their awards at Finch Farm and wherever they are based. I understand it, like I said, to a degree. I don't quite understand why they just threw the list of winners up halfway through or even at the start of the actual video. It's almost like it was irrelevant watching the video, because you knew you picked up player of the season, you knew you picked up players player of the season, because there was a list on EvertonFC.com literally detailing who picked those awards up. So I did feel like that was a little bit silly. I thought, you know, okay, if you're not going to do a fully, you know, on award show where, you know, fans can come down, they can pay however much it was, £100 ticket, get dressed up and, you know, see the players, meet the players. If you don't want to do that, because, you know, different years are different, of course, and the vibe around the club can be very different from one year to another, then if you're going to put it out as a video and you're going to premiere it on YouTube, don't put the winners up as well, you know, before the awards have been shown. Because I sat there and I found out Digne had won players player of the season along with Dixies again. I found out that Digne had won player of the year when, you know, the earlier awards were getting sort of announced, and I just sat there and went, well, it's a little bit pointless watching this now. Okay, it's nice to watch for the little message that the players give at the end and to see the clips of obviously Marco Silva and all the lads and all the different people picking up their awards, but in the grand scheme of things, you already knew who won the award, so it did feel a little bit sort of pointless. But like I said, I understand the reasoning behind doing a video. I just think that could have been done a little bit better, and maybe not. It's not really leaked the results, because it was done purposely to say, here's all the winners basically, and this is a video to go along with it. I'd rather them have said, if you want to see the winner live, you know, at the same time everybody else is doing, you have to watch the video, rather than, you know, if you don't want to see the winner live that everybody else does, then come back an hour later and you'll see people tweeting about it. Our Twitter tweet covered the whole night of awards. But to think that you could literally just go on EvertonFC.com and just see the awards, at the same time as, or even before they were being announced. It didn't seem to make much sense to me, but that's just me anyway. Anyway, I've got that out the window. That was the negative about last night. Overall, obviously, it was a fantastic night. It was great to see a lot of people in and around Everton Football Club being awarded for their work and for their efforts throughout the year. Not just the players on the pitch, of course, not just, Richarlison, who picked up Young Player of the Year, not just Digne, who picked up a couple of awards, not just Gylfi Sigurdsson, but of course Alfie Zami, who picked up the Fan of the Year. Absolutely massively well deserved, so big congratulations to him. Obviously, they had the under-23s, Nathan Broadhead picking up the under-23s Player of the Year, David Unsworth picking up an award as well, Michael Keane picking up the Blueblood award. So we'll go through the majority of them, at least in today's video. Of course, listen, absolutely fantastic to see everybody in and around the football club being awarded for their work. You sort of sit there and you think, the end of season awards will be coming soon. Who wins Player of the Year? Who wins Players Player? Who wins, Goal of the Season? But, realistically, there's a lot of work that goes on behind the scenes at Everton Football Club, and it's really, really nice to see the people that are involved in that work getting rewarded for it as well on the same, night, which would have been in St George's Hall if it had been hosted there. But, of course, on the same video, in the same fashion as the players that are playing week in, week out, that we all go and pay to watch. David says, go on Cam, give us summit. And David says, great, they did it on YouTube. Yeah, listen, I think the premise around it is fantastic. Obviously, the fact that, it used to be a dress up shirt and tie event, and, you'd have to pay however much it was to get a ticket, to turn up, and obviously you got a 3-course meal. I understand that wasn't feasible for everybody. I understand that there would have been a lot of Evertonians. That was before they streamed it on YouTube as well. I understand that there have been a lot of Evertonians thinking, well, I can't afford to pay that much money. As, me, myself, was sitting there often at years thinking, well, I can't really fork out £100 on a ticket to put a suit on and go and watch players be given an award. So it was absolutely fantastic, the premise of it, to be put on YouTube and to be put on EvertonFC.com, and, you could sit there in the comfort of your own home and you could celebrate the people, the different people around the football club winning the awards. I just felt putting the winners next to them in a little word column just didn't really make too much sense to me. David also says, we all knew that who was getting Fans Player, Young Player, that the under-23s would get the job. Royal, Keane and Broadhead were a bit odd, but hey ho. Yeah, exactly. I think, listen, we spoke about this a couple of weeks ago. We spoke about it on stream. About who's going to win Player of the Year, who's going to win Young Player of the Year, who's going to win Goal of the Season. And I think we all knew collectively as a fan base that Player of the Year was nailed on to be Digne. We all knew that he was going to pick that award up. We all knew that Richarlison was more than likely going to pick up Young Player because he is still young and he was our top goal scorer. We all knew that Gylfi Sigurdsson's goal against Leicester was going to pick up the Goal of the Season, but there was a couple of awards in there that maybe we didn't know about, and maybe we didn't really sort of think, that was a blatant one. So obviously we'll talk about them in today's stream as well. I just want to tweet this stream out so everybody on Twitter knows we are live. I do apologise about going live a little bit later on. Listen, I'm not going to lie, I could sit here and make some fantastic excuse and say, I was doing this amount of research, I was doing this, I was doing that. I fell asleep on the couch because it was dead hot. Basically, I got home from work and I just thought, you know what, I'll lie on the couch here for 5 or 10 minutes and see what I can, see if I can just doze off for a little bit. And half an hour later, I was well and truly a kip. So yeah, I'm not going to make any excuses for that one. That is totally my fault. But anyway, we managed to get live, of course, only a couple of minutes after we'd usually go live, so doesn't really matter too much. Just tweeting and out, bear with me 2 seconds. Okay, give me two seconds. Right, okay, there you go. Tweeted it out. Hopefully everybody on Twitter comes over and joins in with the conversations. Like I said, if you've just joined, we were going to do the first part of the seasonal review today, but we've pushed that now till Friday. We'll do the first part on Friday and the second part on Monday. Gives me a little bit more time to think about the season. Gives you guys a little bit more time to think about the season as well. It literally hasn't even been over a week, so I wanted to leave it a little bit. I didn't want to just jump in and go, right, this is how boss we were at the start, this is how shit we were in the middle, this is how boss we were at the end, and then that be it, and then go into talking about the summer, go into talking about next season. Of course, the transfer window domestically in this country opens tomorrow, but I believe it doesn't open until the 6th of June for international transfers. So for all you guys hoping for an Andre Gomez announcement or a Kurt Zouma announcement, the Kurt Zouma announcement, if it happens, could possibly be within the next couple of days next week, even though I don't necessarily think it'll happen. But the Andre Gomez one we will have to wait for, unfortunately. But anyway, yeah, listen, the award show, obviously, it kicked off with the, they sort of went in one of those ways. We all knew Player of the Season and all them sort of awards to do with the first team would be last, and the other sort of awards, in and around the football club would start. It was quite hectic for me. It was quite award after award after award after award. Obviously, when it was a night at St George's Hall, you know, it was obviously, there was other bits and bobs, different interviews with different people, different sort of entertainment things on as well. But this was just a 55-minute video of just purely awards. Listen, we'll talk about the first team awards in a little while, because like I said, a lot of them were predictable. The ones that weren't predictable, of course, we'll talk about. But I want to highlight a couple of different awards that, you know, don't really necessarily have to do with the first team. That you might be sitting there as an Evertonian and you might be thinking, you know what, I'm absolutely made up that he's picked that award up, or I'm absolutely made up that she's picked that award up, because you don't really necessarily think about those type of awards when you think end of season award. You think who gets goal of the season, who gets player of the season, etc, etc, etc. So anyway, listen, we'll start with fan of the year. Briefly mentioned it then. Alfie's Army picking up Everton fan of the year. If you don't know Alfie's story, listen, I'm not going to try and, you know, explain it in a detailed as possible, because I don't want to, you know, do it injustice to it. I don't want to cock it up. So please do go over and check out Alfie's Army on Twitter, and, you know, read into that story. It's a really heartwarming story, really sad story as well. So go over and check that out. But massively well deserved for Alfie's Army. If you don't know too much about the story, you might know him via the clip of him on this morning, basically saying, come on Everton, don't let me down, please win this game of football a couple of weeks ago. I think it was before we played Manchester United. Anyway, ended up being the lucky charm, we won that game. But yeah, massively deserved there. The work that, you know, that Alfie and his family have put in throughout the last year, how much money they've raised for charity as well, it's absolutely unbelievable. So massive congratulations to everybody there. Massively deserved. Couldn't fault it, you know, couldn't want anybody else to win it as much as he deserves it as well. So massive congratulations to him, of course. Under 23s, got to mention as well, like they always do every single year. We all knew that the under 23s would more than likely win the Joe Royal Award, and David Unsworth would more than likely win that as well, because of course they won the Premier League too. You couldn't really ask for more out of a young squad than to win the league that they're currently in, and they did. So massive congratulations to them, of course. Listen, picking up the Premier League 2 championship this season, again, twice in 3 seasons, it's an absolutely fantastic achievement for those lads, and you can only hold your hands up and say well done. You totally deserve it. They were the first couple of awards in the award show. Nathan Broadhead, like we briefly mentioned, picking up player of the season. Now listen, I've watched Nathan Broadhead a couple of times. I watched him when we picked up the trophy. I watched him when we played in the under-23s, played Newcastle as well. He's an absolutely fantastic talent. That kid, that kid is unreal, and I really do think he'll be one of the names on Marco Silva and Marcel Brands' list in the summer to bring through to the, you know, to the first team squad. David Unsworth already been speaking in recent weeks, last week, about bringing under 18s through to the under 23 squad. He named a couple of names, Ellis Sims specifically. I know a lot of us will, you know, be aware of Ellis Sims. Scored about 6 million goals in 25 games or whatever it was last season. That was an exaggeration, but you know what I mean. Absolutely fantastic prospect, brilliant young player. David Unsworth's come out and said he's going to be introduced to the under 23 squad next season, along with a couple of other of his teammates in the Everton under 18. So it's only natural that we could assume that a couple of under 23s will be looked at for, you know, the first team squad. Now that might be Keane, who we're all aware of, and I know some people might say, well, he's a first team player already, but realistically I'd still class him as an under 23 player, because he didn't, although he was in and around the first team, he played the majority of his football when he was at Everton in the last couple of years in the under 23s, and then has gone out on loan. Of course, we know the likes of Morgan Feeney, who captain the team, absolutely fantastic player. Bass Sambu as well, Nathan Broadhead, of course, Josh Bowler. There's a load of lads in that under 23 squad that, you know, quite possibly could be introduced into the first team next season. And by that, I don't mean playing week in, week out in the Premier League. I just mean getting the experience of being on the bench at a Goodison Park match day in the Premier League, coming on for the last 15-20 minutes when we're comfortably winning the game, being thrown on when we need something a little bit different, you know, being thrown on in the pressure of it, like Tom Davis was, like Ross Barkley was, and hoping that, you know, they revel in it. Like I said, Nathan Broadhead, the lad who picked up the under 23s player of the year, absolutely fantastic talent, such a brilliant footballer as well, and you know, I really can see him you're getting into the first team squad and really making an impact as well. Obviously, it's a massive step up from under 23s to the first team, so it's nothing guaranteed that any of the lads are going to step in and, you know, be able to replicate what they've done in the under 23s for the first team. That's been proven before by many players, not just for Everton but for other clubs as well. But I think they definitely deserve their opportunity, and Nathan Broadhead is definitely one of them. So massive congratulations to the under 23s, obviously, for picking up the Joe Royal Award, for winning the league, of course, and having an absolutely boss season, and the cup. Let's not forget that. Let's not play down the fact that they won the Premier League 2 club as well. They won the double, and if that doesn't deserve an award, then I don't know what does. And of course, David Unsworth as well, and like I said, Nathan Broadhead for picking up under 23s player of the season. Massive congratulations to him. Where are we? Jonathan says, oh, hang on. David says, first part good, middle part shite, end good, season reviewed. Yeah, that's pretty much it, to be honest, isn't it? That's it. That don't need to do a season review now. Now when he messaged, Jonathan says, oh, we sign Andre Gomez. Me too, mate, I really do. Samuel says, Everton were given the chance to sign João Mario from Inter Milan for 15 million. Can't argue, if we don't sign Gomez, we must sign this man. I like João Mario. I don't necessarily know if he'd fit in the Premier League. I don't necessarily know if he's good enough to play in the Premier League, but I do like him, and for 15 million, like you said there, you can't really complain. David said, Alfie and Henry awards were brilliant, amazing people, nice to see. I really can't pronounce the name of the lady that won the Women's Player of the Year. Is it Simone? I can only assume it's Simone. I really can't pronounce it. You know, I'm very familiar with her and, you know, how well she's done the season, but I really can't pronounce the name. Simone, mess up her moment. Yeah, it's not nice to see that, but, you know, you can only really look at it and chuckle, can't you? But and John says, at least the under-23s won the league before Liverpool did. Exactly. We all need Liverpool. We're never going to win the league. They're shite, Andy. So I suppose that is a fantastic way to bring it in. Me not being able to say a name, of course, because I'm absolutely thick. But a massive congratulations to Simone Magill, or Magill, however you would like to pronounce the name. I'd pronounce it Simone Magill, for winning the Everton Ladies Player of the Season as well. Everton Ladies, again, having a decent season. I remember the days when Everton Ladies were absolutely top of the game, winning the league constantly. Rachel Brown played in goal for them, met Rachel Brown a couple of times as well. You know, this was all before the sad, like, Manchester United, Arsenal all brought ladies teams into the equation. Ladies football obviously is getting bigger and bigger as the seasons go on, as the years go on. I can't even imagine how big it's going to be in a couple of years' time as well. So massive congratulations to her for picking up the Player of the Season award. Massively deserved, and like I said, she did mess up her moment a little bit in the clip, but it is what it is. We've all been there before and we've all done it, haven't we? Kadir says, hi mate, hi Kadir, hope you are doing well. If you're enjoying this team so far, please do leave a like. It really does mean a massive amount to me. If you haven't already as well, please do subscribe. So we've covered the Everton under 23s, we've covered Fan of the Year, we've covered Ladies Player of the Year as well. I suppose we'll go into, you know, the first team awards now. I know there was a lot of awards in the night, and I really do urge you going back and watching the award ceremony. I'm not going to go through every single award, and because I'm not going to lie, I'm not familiar with every single award and every single winner. But obviously, you know, we have to talk about the first team awards, of course. I think we knew a lot of them, but there was a couple of ones in there that you thought, oh, didn't really sort of, you know, think that one had happened. So I suppose we'll talk about them now. We'll start with... Oh, where should we start? Well, I'd like to say we'll start with Michael Keane, but I'm going to leave Michael Keane's till last, because I think that's the award that a lot of fans were most shocked at, and that's the award that a lot of fans went, well, you know what, fair enough. So we'll leave that one till last. We'll start with goal of the season. Listen, it's pretty self-explanatory, and as soon as that ball left Gylfi Sigurdsson's foot against Leicester early on in the season at the King Power Stadium, we all sat here and we all went, that's goal of the season. Because we all sat here and we all thought, if any Everton player can top that goal, then fair fucking play. And they ended up not doing, according to the players, according to the fans, according to people at Everton Football Club, nobody topped that goal. And you know what, there was some close contenders, to be fair. Luca Dean's against Manchester United, Andre Gomez is against Wolves. There was some really close contenders, but I think it's fair to say Gylfi deserves that one. It's an absolutely unbelievable goal. Not just the finish itself, but the fact that he turns, puts James Maddison on his arse, and then just absolutely buries it from about 35 yards. Is just, it's quality. It's pure quality, and that's what Gylfi Sigurdsson gives you. You know, Gylfi Sigurdsson gives you that quality, that skill, that, you know, unexpected ability to hit a ball from that range. And not only hit a ball, he didn't, let's be real, he didn't just hit it and it went in. He put it that far in the corner that I honestly think no keeper in the world would have saved it. And you can only give Gylfi credit for that. It's an absolutely unbelievable goal, and well worthy of winning our Goal of the Season award. I've seen a lot of fans on Twitter, a lot of fans on social media comparing it to obviously last year's Goal of the Season award, which I believe was Wayne Rooney's against West Ham. People saying which one was better. Rooney's it takes a lot of skill, it takes a lot of ability, and it takes a lot of experience in football to be able to know you can hit a ball from there and score. But I still think Gylfi's tops it. I think Gylfi Sigurdsson's goal was absolutely unreal. Such a fantastic goal, and massively deserved for picking up the Goal of the Season. So big well done to the Iceman Gylfi Sigurdsson. Of course, going into Young Player of the Year, we predicted a couple of the awards a couple of weeks back on one of the live streams. I can't remember which live stream it was. We predicted Young Player of the Year, we predicted Players Player, we predicted Player of the Season as well, and Goal of the Season. I don't want to boast, but I think I got Goal of the Season right, Young Player of the Season right, and Player of the Season right as well. So, I'm only messing. But listen, yeah, of course, literally, I don't think it says anything about me that I got the fact that Gylfi Sigurdsson didn't win Goal of the Season right, because I think pretty much everybody knew that was going to be the case. Gylfi picked up Goal of the Season. Going into Young Player of the Season, Richarlison picking it up, of course, ending the season as our top goal scorer, 13 goals and 1 assist. The Brazilian international ended the season with quite a hefty price tag on him, £35 million. A lot of fans saying, is he worth it? We don't really know. We had a good season at Watford. We had a good start to the season at Watford, but then he tailed off towards the end. Is he going to prove to be worth it? For me, listen, he's been worth every penny, I think, and I'm not going to sit here and pretend that he's had a spot-on 10 out of 10 season. He is frustrating at times, he is. That's the nature of Richarlison. He is frustrating. Sometimes he spits his dummy a little bit. Sometimes he, rolls on the floor a bit too much, but you cannot fault the lad's ability, and you cannot fault the lad's effort when he gets that kick up the arse and when he's told, listen, get your head down. And you cannot fault the fact that he absolutely loves Evertonians. From his debut against Wolves, where he put 2 goals away, to his scissor kick against Manchester United, to all the goals he scored this season by just being in the right place at the right time and picking us up points. He's been absolutely fantastic for me this season as a whole. He's only going to improve, he's only going to get better, he's only going to mature. Listen, I think the lad's, he's 22 years old, so I think he's just had his 22nd birthday. He's a Brazilian international, and he's our top goal scorer this season. He might roll around a little bit, he might have his head down, he might spit his dummy a little bit, but you can only say, you know what, lad, pick yourself up, sort your head out in certain games, and you're going to be an absolutely fantastic footballer. Now, I obviously predicted that he'd win Young Player of the Year, and there was a lot of fans saying, well, I don't know about that. Should he be in Young Player of the Year? Is he, should he be as a contender for Player of the Season? And if he doesn't win that, then, that's just what it is. But should he really be in the talk for Young Player of the Year? Because, like you said, he come with a massive price tag, and he's played a lot this season. I don't necessarily think the price tag or the amount of games he's played or the role he has at Everton Football Club should affect his chances of being in the Young Player of the Season. I purely think that award, Young Player of the Season, should be given to players that are young and have had a fantastic season, and Richarlison is young and had a fantastic season. Glyn says there, DCL. Listen, I think DCL, definitely was in with a shot for Young Player of the Season. If DCL had have performed like he did in the last sort of 2 to 3 months of the season at the start, and if he'd have had more game time, maybe he would have done that, then maybe he'd have been in with a little bit more of a shout as well. But I just think consistency wise, and obviously leaving the season as our top goal scorer, scoring the goals he did, creating the opportunities he did, I don't think you can really argue with the fact that Richarlison has won that Young Player of the Season. People might say he shouldn't really have done it for me, he shouldn't really be in that conversation. He should have been in the conversation for the Player of the Season. The young player should be someone like a DCL, someone like a Tom Davies. I don't know, but I think if you're thinking young player, you're thinking DCL, Tom Davies, Ademola Lookman, Richarlison, John Joe Kenny. John Joe Kenny didn't play near enough games to win it, neither did Davies, neither did Lookman, and Dominic Calvert-Lewin. For me, if you're putting Richarlison and Dominic Calvert-Lewin together, who's had a better season, I think you have to say Richarlison. And maybe Dom next season will be in with more of a shot. Maybe if Dom had played more games this season, he'd have been in with more of a shot. But I don't think we can really argue with the fact that Richarlison's 22 years old, therefore he's young, and he's our top goal scorer this season, or last season should we say now. 13 goals, some fantastic goals as well. So for me, massively deserved, and I think he definitely should have won it as well. We'll dive into the live comments now. David says, is Unzi winning the Everton Giants award? Assist, thought Bill looked like a little pale, and where was Usmanov? Listen, Usmanov will be announced soon, don't you worry about that. David also says Gomez was a beauty. He was a beauty, and hopefully he signs on a permanent deal as well. Samuel says Keane is an Everton man, and it was great to see him win the Blueblood award. Great season for him. Yeah, you know, it was fantastic to see, and like you said there, absolutely fantastic season. Glyn says Digne schemer for me was probably, I dare say, a close second for everybody at the club. Definitely a close second for me. An absolutely fantastic goal. I'm probably quite unlucky to not win goal of the season. Only the fact that Gylfi hit the ball as well as he did at the King Power Stadium earlier on in the season. Sammy says, had no doubt Dean would win Player of the Year. Fair enough, I don't think any of us did, to be honest. David says, Berry shot himself walking into the meeting. Matthew says, anyone know where Liverpool last lost point? It was at Goodison Park, mate. That's where they lost the league. David says, Scrabble. Glyn says, what about the most improved player? And David says, Keane, mate. I would absolutely 150% agree. Michael Keane, for me, is the most improved player. And although that's not an official award, because I suppose it sort of says, well, you were shit, but now you're all right, I think it definitely was Michael Keane, let's be honest. Dominic Calvert-Lewin, maybe also in with a shout, but Michael Keane for me. Glyn says, DCL. Like I said, in for the shout. David says, hasn't done enough for me. I assume that's about DCL winning most improved player. And David says, Sterling got PFA young player at 24. Exactly. And that was only because they love Liverpool that much that they couldn't stop their bias in giving Virgil van Dijk. They had to give a Liverpool player something at the end of that season, so they had to give Sterling young player, despite the fact that he was head and shoulders better than anybody else in the league last season. But that's none of my business, is it? As I was going to sit here and sip me tea, but it's gone cold now, so I'm not going to do that. So yeah, Richarlison winning young player of the season. Let me know your thoughts on that award, as well as obviously Gylfi winning goal of the season. Of course, we'll go into talking about player of the season now. I want to talk about player after. We'll talk about players. We'll talk about player of the season first. Of course, Luca Dean picking up the award, like many of us have said, they're massively deserved and sort of predictable as well. I think we all sat here a couple of weeks ago when we were predicting who would win these awards, when we were sitting here, when we were talking on Twitter, talking on social media about who was going to pick up the player of the season award. I think a lot of us collectively went, well, you know, Bernard's had a good season, Gomez has had a good season, Richarlison's had a good season, and then we all just sat back and went, nah, it's Luca Dean, innit? Let's be honest. He is absolutely fantastic. I can't think of a player to deserve an award more than Luca Dean does. He's come in, obviously. He's played in some of the top 5 leagues in the world. On paper, he should have been able to fit in and should have been able to do what he's done this season, you know, when we say signed him on paper, but we all know football doesn't work on paper. We all know that's not how football works. It's much different to that. You know, there was a risk. Luca Dean could have stepped in for Leighton Baines and, you know, mightn't have been able to keep up with the pace of this league, mightn't have been able to keep up with the strength of this league, mightn't have been technically good enough, but he was all of those things. He's been able to keep up with the pace fantastically. He's more than technically good enough. He's fantastic going forward. He's fantastic defensively. And I think the most important thing for us Evertonians is we all know how much we value Leighton Baines as a football player. We all know how much we value what Leighton Baines has done for Everton Football Club. So we all sat here when we knew it was coming to the end of Leighton Baines' career, when we knew, you know, Leighton Baines wasn't going to be able to play in 38 games in the Premier League season, and we all sat and we all said, you know what? It's going to be really difficult to replace Leighton Baines here. He's such a fantastic footballer, such a fantastic professional. You know, going forward, he's been unbelievable throughout the years. Defensively, he's been solid as well. It's going to be massively difficult to replace that sort of player and bring in a player that can do that role as good as Leighton Baines could do in his prime. And Marcel Brands walked through the door and went, bang, there he is, there. And Evertonians went, he is a prime Leighton Baines. He's absolutely fantastic. The lad defensively is really solid, going forward, creating opportunities every single game, I think he throws tackles in constantly as well, but I know he throws tackles in constantly winning the ball back, like I said, constantly providing balls into the box for the likes of Dominic Calvert-Lewin, for the likes of Richarlison, getting down that left-hand side, helping Bernard out on that left-hand side. We really did see a Baines-Pienaar-esque partnership between those two towards the middle and end of the season, and I think, listen, he's just been absolutely fantastic, isn't he? And I know on paper, you know, you might look and you go, well, he's played for Roma, PSG, Barca, he should be that good, but like I said, football doesn't work on paper, and the lad has been absolutely unbelievable this season. Not to mention that he's proper sound. He's got a belter haircut, he's got boss tattoos, and in one of his first interviews after signing for Everton, he turned around and said, I've rejected Liverpool twice and they're just jealous that I didn't go to them. he is a belter. He's boss, and he deserves that award more than anybody does this season. Not just because of all the things I've mentioned, but like I said, because he's had an absolutely fantastic season, and he is really like a prime Leighton Baines. Really is like a prime Leighton Baines for me. And I just think he's fucking boss. He is, and he's just fucking boss. We'll dive into the live comments now before we go into talking about player of the season, and then of course we'll end it on the Blueblood award. Where are we? Glyn says Liverpool do live on Sky. After all, do live on... Yeah, of course they do. David says 18 million. Luca Dean, exactly. What a steal as well. 18 million in this day and age is absolutely nothing. What a steal for such a fantastic player. Ian says, glad Garner was recognised for his super season. Yes, we'll talk about Garner in just a minute. And David says, Lucas has been our Captain America. He can do it all day. Ask his missus. Yeah. And, that Valentine's Day post on Valentine's Day as well. Listen, I'm not one of these Evertonians that thinks, if an Everton player is pictured with a red shirt or a red cap, or the TV remote's got a red button on, or there's a red balloon in the house for the kid who, might like the colour red, that goes, oh my god, what are you doing? You fucking, get red off. I'm not one of these Evertonians that, I don't know whether you can call it bitter, because I'm a massively bitter Evertonian, and I personally don't wear any red clothes, but I don't get frustrated if players or other fans wear red clothes. I think that's just a little bit silly, in my opinion anyway. Let me know your thoughts and opinions on that one. But Luca Dean obviously went away to Paris for Valentine's Day with his missus. Of course, they had red and white balloons, because that's what you do on Valentine's Day, and he took his initiative to put a picture up by the Eiffel Tower in his apartment or his hotel or wherever he was staying at the time, and basically blank out the red and white balloons and change them to blue and white, because I think he already got the sort of feel around Everton Football Club as that we don't necessarily take nicely to red things at our football club. I think he probably seen the Ronald Koeman situation, was probably informed about the Ronald Koeman situation with the Christmas tree a couple of years back, and he's gone, I'm not putting a picture up with red on my Instagram, I'll just change it to blue. And again, if there's anything that you wanted, if there's a reason why you wanted Luca Dean to be more boss than he is, then that's it really. And he does half look like Captain America as well. And talking about Captain America and talking about the Avengers, going off topic a little bit here, but how belter is my cup here? Went to see Endgame the other day, and I'm not going to sit here and pretend I'm a fucking big Avengers fan. I've seen one of the films, and I only went to see that because people were bigging it up, so I thought, fuck it, I'll go and see it. I haven't seen any of the rest, but seeing this cup in the Disney shop the other day, 15 quid, the Infinity Gauntlet thing, fucking let you have a big brew, and I thought, you know what, I'll take that. I'll have that any day of the week. So yeah, he is in a year's out of Avenger, Luca Dean, and he absolutely fantastic season, fantastic player as well. But yeah, anyway, listen, we'll go into talking about player of the season. The first time the award has been split between two players. Luca Dean, of course, winning one half of it, which again, pretty much self-explanatory for all of the reasons that we've just spoken about as to why, he did win the award. And Adisa Garnagay as well, winning the other half. Now listen, who was it before? Somebody said, Ian said in the comments before he, made up that Adisa Garnagay got recognised for his efforts for the season. And you know what? I am as well, because I was a little bit frustrated at Adisa Garnagay, to be honest, in the January sort of spell, when he come out and when he was saying, listen, this is my dream move, I want to go, and you sort of take away the logic behind football when these sort of situations happens. If you logically sat back and you looked at that situation, you could think, well, okay, he's a lad that grew up, speaking French, obviously grew up watching football internationally, knows how big of a club PSG are, knows that they're not only challenging in the Champions Leagues, but they're winning their league every single season because the rest of the teams are shite in it. Knows that he'll be playing next to some of the best players in the world, Mbappe, Neymar, Cavani. You don't necessarily think of all that when the situation's happening. You just think, well, if you don't want to play for Everton, fuck off, lad, get away. I don't want anyone at our football club that doesn't want to play for Everton Football Club, so see you later, there's the door. Don't give a shit who's in for you. If you're not absolutely made up to be an Everton player, fuck off. You think like that. You don't necessarily sit back and think, well, can you really blame him? And I think, you know what, Adisa Garnagay had a couple of options when it all broke down. If there was any talk, if there was any discussion between PSG and Everton Football Club, when that all ended, when that all broke down, when it become, apparent that he wasn't going to leave the football club in January to his dream move to PSG, he had a couple of options. He could have turned around and gone, right, well, I'm going to spit me dummy, I'm going to sit on the bench, I'm going to refuse to play, I'm going to refuse to train, I'm going to force a move out, or I'm going to get my head down, I'm going to act like I still love the football club, I'm going to show I still love the football club, and I'm going to put in better performance. better performances every single week, and he knew, he was clever enough to know in his head that doing the latter there, putting in the better performances week in, week out, was going to do one of two things. It was either going to gain his love and trust from the Evertonians again, because they go, well, you know what, logically, once we've sat back a couple of weeks later and we've realised we can understand why you wanted to move, but we now appreciate the fact that you're getting your head down. And he could be sitting there thinking, well, I really want to stay at Everton now, so that's really important to me. Or he's thinking, well, I'm not going to get a move by spitting me dummy and sitting on the bench, and I'm definitely not going to get a move to PSG doing that, so I'm just going to knuckle down, put in performances better than ever, and hopefully they come back in for me in the summer. And that's what he done. I wasn't massively impressed with with the Dixies guy at the start of the season, because I thought that, in certain games, I thought he was quite poor. I thought his passing was poor. I thought his decision making was poor. I thought he took quite a lazy approach. Now, that could have been the fact that he really believed in his head that he wasn't going to be an Everton player come January. He really believed that he was going to get that move. It could have been that. It could have just been the fact that he was on poor form and that his confidence was low. But like I said, I think when that January sort of situation happened between him and PSG, I think a lot of fans, including myself, sort of went, well, you've been poor for the last 2-3 months, so don't now start saying, I want to leave, I want to go to this club because they're bigger, I want to go to this club because they're better. And then when it sort of become apparent that he wasn't going to move to PSG and that we weren't having none of that, I think there was a worry genuinely between Everton fans that went, well, are we going to still be able to play Ghana week in, week out? Is he going to still have that attitude? Is he going to want to play? Is he going to be performing like he was, or worse than he was previously? And he's proved me wrong. And he's absolutely proved a lot of Evertonians wrong, I believe. He's got his head down and he's worked his absolute arse off week in, week out since that situation has happened, and he's been better. I honestly think that this Guy's season was massively improved post-January than it was, from August onwards until that sort of saga. His passing improved massively, his work rate improved massively, although that never really dropped. His ability on the ball improved massively, his willingness to run around, his willingness to put the shift in improved, and he become a sort of a better footballer, if you like, and a more of a mature footballer. And like we said, we're sitting here, and that could just be him sitting there thinking, well, you know what, I want this move in the summer, so I'm just going to give it 158%, and I'm going to try and force it through. It could be that. We don't know that. We'll only know that going into the summer transfer window. We'll only know that when we come out the summer transfer window at the start of the season and he's either an Everton player or he's not. That's when we'll realise that. But I think it's massively representative of the footballer himself and the man himself as to how he approached the rest of the season after that saga. He didn't let it get him down. He didn't sit there. He didn't moan. He didn't groan. He didn't spit his dummy. He went, well, I haven't got it there, so I'm going to work extra hard next time to get it. And you know what? If it's this kind of guy turns on in a couple of weeks' time when the transfer window opens and goes, listen, I want to go to PSG, I want me dream move now, I appreciate everything you've done for me, but I want to branch out, I want to, play my career in a different part of the country, a different part of the world, I'd absolutely sit back and go, you know what, fair enough, there you go. There's your move, lad. If PSG want you and they're providing, a big enough sort of fee for you, then there you go, you deserve it. And I don't think any Evertonian could moan at the Dixies for that, because at the end of the day, he's not a born Evertonian, he's not grew up in and around Liverpool, he doesn't owe anything to our football club. What he owed us was, after that saga, to get his head down and consistently play good football, and he did. And I think that is a part of the reason as to why he definitely deserves the other half of that players' player of the season. And I think the players obviously understood that as well. It was obvious that in that saga, when he was coming out and saying, I want to move, I want to get me D move, of course the players in and around in the dressing room would have realised that as well. And I think the dressing room have took notice of the fact that he's got his head down and he's worked 10 times as hard after that, whether that's be to just say, I've changed my mind and I want to stay, so I'm going to work 10 times as hard to prove that, or whether that's because he's saying, I want to move and I'm going to work 10 times as hard to force the move through. I don't know, but like I said, I also think he massively deserves the second half of that Players Player of the Season award as well. Jess says, views all the way from Barca. Hello? I know you're not Spanish. I was going to make a joke there and say you're Spanish, but I know you're not Spanish. Dave says, welcome, Jess. Hope you're not just here for the Gomez chat. Yeah. Listen, I would be if I was a girl. I'd be here for the Andre Gomez chat as well. Ian says, I only wear red to celebrate the passing of the Wicked Witch once a year. David says, good lad both fucking time. David says, Ghana being brilliant from February. I hope he gets his move despite Herrera, but I think if he stays, he'd be fully invested at the club. And I agree, spot on. And I don't think there's any worries about if he does stay, if he doesn't get his move, that he won't just get his head down again and be absolutely invested in the football club once again. Jess says, Cam looking like Gomez. I wish. I wish. David says, he was paired with Snidland to begin with, Cam. Look at his change when Gomez came in late September. Exactly. And even look at how well he's played next to Snidland when Snidland's had to come back in. And Gomez has obviously had the last couple of games off suspension. He's still maintained that level of performance, and Morgan Snidland has upped his level of performance as well. Rob says, hi Cam, hi Rob. David says, on Snapchat filter apparently, Jess. I don't even look like Andre Gomez on the Snapchat filter, to be honest, and that's quite disappointing. Rob says, not been on for a while due to work, etc. Was going to see you in Liverpool, but we all got food poisoning from slug and lettuce, so be warned, lol, the top of Matthew's teeth. I do know slug and lettuce, and I really like slug and lettuce as well, and I probably was going to go for food at some point in the next couple of weeks while the sun is out, so I'll keep that one in mind. Thank you very much for that. Rob says, Tash, just can't be arse shaving, to be honest, mate. Too much effort, and like I said, that my spare time is literally made up of falling asleep. I got home from work today and just fell asleep, so I probably could have shaved, but I fell asleep. Glyn says, Gravison left for a worldy move. Exactly. And if you've got a team like PSG, you've got the likes of Neymar, Mbappe, Cavani, Champions League football, winning the league every year, sort of saying, come here, we want you to sign. It's going to be really, really tough to say, I want to stay in Liverpool and play for Everton, if you've not been brought up an Evertonian, if you've not have lived the life of an Evertonian. And Chess says, I wish too, yeah. Jess, my girlfriend, if you didn't know, and I'm sure you do wish that I look like Andre Gomez, to be honest. I wish I looked like Andre Gomez, and I think most Evertonians wish they looked like Andre Gomez, to be honest. What a fucking handsome bastard that man is. And I'm not afraid to say that. He's fucking sexy as fuck. There you go. I'll leave you with that one. So yeah, anyway, that's player of the season. Like we mentioned, we all know Luca Dean deserved it. We all know Luca Dean would have probably won it. But I think it's really, really good to see Gate pick up it as well, because he really, really does deserve it, especially how he dealt with that situation in January. Rob says, Clubhouse for Food, top of Liverpool 1, and then a thumbs up. I've heard it's really, really nice. Definitely one of the places on my list as well. And David says, Rooney did, and he is a blue. Exactly. And we all welcome Rooney back with open arms, so I don't think we could really complain. Anyway, last but not least, the award I want to talk about last. The award that I think a lot of Evertonians have sat there last night and gone, well, I didn't expect that, really. The award that I sat there and went, oh, that's a bit mad, I didn't really expect that. Michael Keane picked up Bill Kenwright's Blueblood Award. Now, Bill Kenwright's Blueblood Award is a really, really prestigious award at Everton Football Club. It's been going for a few years now. I believe David Unsworth won it last year, of course, for the year before, for his fantastic work with the under-23s. And it's a really, really prestigious award in our football club. And I don't think any fan would have predicted that a current player would win it. Of course, ex-players, players that have left the football club, players that have retired, definitely, but I don't think any sort of Everton fan would have expected a current player to have won that award, especially considering the fact that, we only see these lads go entertaining a Finch Farm every day, coming out and playing on a Saturday. We don't, and obviously we see the community work during the week, but we don't necessarily see a lot of behind the scenes of a football player's life. Now, Michael Keane picked up the Blueblood Award, and I think Michael Keane has done a massive I don't know what the word is. He's done himself massively well. That doesn't make sense. Anyway, he's been boss this year. I'll just settle with that. And I think not only on the pitch he's been absolutely quality, but off the pitch as well. And I don't think we should just focus on this year for Michael Keane. Yes, he's been probably our most improved player this season. Yes, he's looked fantastic next to Kurt Zoom, and he's looked fantastic in a settled, consistent back four. But I think we should all think about Michael Keane last year, the fact that a lot of Evertonians writ him off at the start of the season. He come in from Burnley for 30 million, of course. Listen, we're not going to beat around the bush. He struggled last season. He really, really did. He was playing next to Ashley Williams, who was absolutely garbage. He was playing in inconsistent defences, playing in a team that were constantly leaking goals, not managed well whatsoever by the previous managers, aka Koeman and Allardyce. And I think he struggled. He really, really did struggle. And Michael Keane always knew he needed we always knew he needed that consistency. He needed that player next to him that could play constantly and that could help him improve as a footballer. And you know what? He got that this season. He had that with Kurt Zouma. He's had that at times with Yerry Mina. He had that when he needed to with Phil Jagielka. But the majority of the season, he's played next to Kurt Zouma, and you can see how well it's done him. Not only because Kurt Zouma is a much better footballer than Ashley Williams, not only because Kurt Zouma is a much better footballer than anybody that played in that back four last season, but because it's been consistent, and he's had that consistent back four, and he's been able to improve his game on that. And I think Michael Keane's attitude as not only a footballer but a person throughout that year that he labelled as really, really tough. He labelled it as, you know, he played a lot of that season through injury as well, but he had to play because there was nobody else. His attitude is, you know, the fact that he kept his head up, the fact that he didn't let, you know, some fans that were saying he's not good enough get to him, and the fact that he went into this season and he's had a good of a season as he is, I think it really, really does warrant the Blueblood award. And of course, the work he does behind the scenes in the community, the fact that he is a top professional, I really can see Michael Keane being an Everton captain in the next coming years. And like I said, a massively deserved, although it might have been unpredictable, although it might have been a little bit of a shock, massively deserved, purely for me, for the fact that he had a really, really difficult season last season, both personally and professionally, in terms of obviously struggling through injury and not really being able to nail him, a really good run of decent performances, and the fact, of course, that he was playing in inconsistent defences that were chopping and changing weekly with poor players. The fact that he kept his head up and he still kept his confidence, and he's still gone into this season and he's gone, well, you know what, we'll have another go at it. And the fact that he's come out of this season having had a fantastic season, I think it deserves a lot of praise. Jess says Clubhouse is so nice. Yeah, it is. Rob says definitely Jess. I don't know why I said yeah, it is. I've never been, but it looks nice. Rob says definitely Jess. Rob says we live in Yorkshire but love Liverpool. Yeah, it's alright, isn't it? It's alright when the weather's like this, definitely. David says Keane has done tons of charity work. Unzi won it for service and houses for homeless. Keane has developed a lot this season, whether he was with Juma, Mina or Jags. I 100% agree with that one as well. And David says I'm in Leeds. Rob, people from all over the globe here, Barcelona, Leeds, Yorkshire, boss, absolutely boss to see. But anyway, I'm going to leave it there. Please do let me know all your thoughts in the live comments, or if you're watching this as a YouTube video afterwards, in the comment section down below, about all of the awards last night, all of the winners. You know, Michael Keane picking up the Blueblood award. What did you originally think of that? Do you think he deserves it? I think, you know, I think all of us would say he does. What do you think about Richarlison picking up Young Player of the Season? Do you think he should have been in contention for Young Player of the Season? What do you think about Luca Dean picking up Players Player and Player of the Season? I think we all think well deserved. Boss, what do you think about Gylfi Sigurdsson as well, winning goal of the season? Do you think somebody else should have won it? Do you think Gylfi, you know, deserved to win it, but there was other contenders? Let me know your thoughts on everything that was spoken about today. If you have enjoyed the stream, please do leave a like. It really does mean a massive amount to me. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter. Our handle is just below me there. Really does mean a lot if you follow us there as well. Always keeping up to date with the channel and Everton Football Club over there as well. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. So close to 500 subscribers now, so it'll mean a massive amount to me if you could hit that subscribe button. I'll be back on Friday at around 6:15, 6:30 once again for the first part of our seasonal review. We're going to be talking about the first half of the season, talking about its pros, talking about its cons, talking about how all of the new signings settled in, and then again on Monday talking about the second half of the season in a very similar fashion. But anyway, that's going to do it for me. A massive thank you for everybody for watching. A massive thanks to everybody for getting involved in the live comments as per usual. If you're watching as a YouTube video, leave all your thoughts and comments in the comment section down below. I'll be replying to them all night. Leave a like if you have enjoyed the stream. Please do subscribe if you haven't already. I will be back on Wednesday at not Wednesday, sorry, it's Wednesday today. I'll be back on Friday at about 6:30 for another live stream. Don't forget to join me for that one. It really does mean a massive amount to me. David says YouTube viewers are late because they spend too much time masturbating in the toilet. Bit of a mad one that, but we'll leave it on that one. Yeah, massive thank you for watching. Please leave a like if you have enjoyed, subscribe if you are new, and I'll see you soon on the Mighty Blues.